Hey Cupcakes, Lisa here with a follow-up to last night's balancing energy video, the video where I talk about how to use the tarot pulse, that method of taking our pulse, really getting a snapshot. You know, how am I doing right now? How integrated and balanced are the four elements that the tarot shows us as making up the cornerstones of our life, the roundness of our life. You know, where are we with earth, fire, water, and air? Where are we with our embodied physical being, with our relational, watery, emotional, spiritual depths, with our airy ability to contemplate and discern and think and communicate? Where are we with that fiery oomph of vigor, of creativity, of responsivity to the world? How are these energies mixing and matching right now in this moment? So the Tarot Pulse reading can show us that, can give us a snapshot. And then we can use that reading to think about further readings, different decks we might want to use, and then different ways to explore through the different, I kind of don't like this word, but the different vibration of a different deck. I don't like the word just because it's kind of overplayed and sort of seems a little woo. I mean, I'm a little woo, let's face it, so maybe I shouldn't worry. But how do we work with the energy we have now, and how do we kind of help it settle into different and perhaps more skillful channels? So, last night's cards, the first card I pulled was the Three of Pentacles. Then I pulled the Seven of Cups, the Seven of Swords, and finally rounded it out with the King of Wands. And the way I interpreted this reading was to say, you know, my bookends here really about the kind of vigor and collaborative energy that is required to do the great work, you know. And I was really thinking about the way in which the spiritual work that I'm doing, you know, literally as my paid job as a medical chaplain, you know, how that's all about a kind of sacred collaboration. And then the King of Wands, you know, very much, he's the guy who can really marshal the oomph and creativity and vigor and guts and compassion required to do this kind of great work. These are my bookends, but in the middle I've got these sevens. You know, and the seven in general is a card all throughout the minor arcana. These are cards that have to do with steadiness, with what it means to stay the course. You know, think about the Seven of Trumps, the Chariot. What does it mean to move forward? Think about the 17 in the Trumps, the Star. What does it mean to be able to navigate our way forward by the North Star, by our pole star? So the sevens have a kind of implication of steadiness, of staying the course, of being able to move forward. These two sevens, however, show the kind of shadow of that. So in the middle of my reading, there's this sense of like, things, I'm stuck in some way, I'm vacillating, or I'm, you know, and I thought, okay, well, I need to work with a very fiery, wandsy deck today in response to last night's Tarot Pulse reading. So I picked Maggie Stiefvater's, I'm reaching for the deck, but I've actually I have a reading laid out, so never mind. But Maggie Stiefvater's Raven's Prophecy, which is a deck that's all about creative energy filled with fiery imagery. I mean, literally images of fire. Very wandsy deck. And thinking, you know, let me find a way to kind of really pull my energy forward. And then today, when I did my first reading, and I'll drop in an image of that reading, and then as I was thinking about things, I realized, you know, actually, the problem isn't necessarily about energy or vigor. The problem is more about trust, and that is less about quality of wands and more about the cups, more about water, more about soul, more about imagination, and more about contemplation in the sense of settling in to the watery depths of our own experience. And indeed, the reading that I first came up with this morning really pointed toward needing to surrender. The Eight of Cups, a card that is kind of stalking me a little bit lately. pointed toward being blocked in a way with the Four of Swords, which came up reversed. And then when I tried to work with that reversal, I got the Hierophant reversed. So there's a sense of my own kind of central spiritual practice of meditation, of it being not really well rooted right now, not really grounded. So I thought about that. I thought about the ways in which I wasn't allowing myself enough time to settle in. Really, I've been running around so intensely. I need to settle. I need more meditation. I need to spend more time sitting on my cushion. And I need to take more time allowing the depths of creative inspiration to just sort of simmer and percolate. So I kind of let that set of ideas and feelings sift through my day, and I just did a Tarot Pulse reading, and these are the 4 cards I drew from Maggie Stiefvater's deck. And her deck, it's very wandsy, but it also is a deck that is full of cups energy and incredibly beautiful images of water, including her vision of the Seven of Wands, which involves water. So she brings fire and water together in this deck. So I think the deck was a good choice for me today, but not so much for its wandsy energy. Although maybe, who knows. So I got the Seven of Swords. Again, the Seven of Swords. And that was the first card I pulled. So it's like, yep. Issues with trust, issues with keeping things in reserve, issues with not being able to really unfold my heart. It's such an enclosed, Maggie Stiefvater, the focus here is on a kind of deception. But to me, it's not so much the deception that her image envisions as, I can't really do it, as this kind of cramping, the difference between an open palm and this gesture. And the hand with the elements on it, tattooed on it, is also her image for the magician. So, this is like the energy of manifestation and alignment that the magician represents is compromised when the Seven of Swords is in the forefront. My second card was the Queen of Coins, the Queen of Pentacles, a card that I keep seeing. And in fact, it's my theme card for the year of 2019. And the next card, King of Wands. And the next card, the Knight of Cups. The Knight of Cups, the figure of the dreamer, the figure of the artist, of the seeker, really, the seeker who works in the medium of soul and imagination, the dreamiest of all the knights. His quest is the quest of expression. I always think if Shakespeare were to have a card, he would have been the Knight of Cups. Or maybe it's John Keats. If I'm going to pick a poet, maybe it's John Keats. Okay, that's just a random association, guys. Make of it what you will. Anyway, this tarot spread, this tarot pulse, kind of confirms, that it really is about trust. That really is the issue that's central. And I feel like I've kind of pulled that into the fore. It's now the first card in the pulse. It's the predominating card. It's not the card that's blocking things. It's the card that's coming forward, which is good. We want to bring that energy forward and up. The King of Wands is now in the middle with the Queen of Coins. Both really powerful and really meaty and really rich and abundant cards. And then the Knight of Cups. It feels like things have turned. I've got these 3 powerful court cards, and they're kind of backing up the issue of trust. So if I can continue to work with the energies here, that seems like that will be fruitful. So I think I want to spend another day working with Maggie Stiefvater's deck. And I think, my other option might be to bring forward the Tarot of Reflections, which is the very watery deck that I'm that I've been thinking a lot about. So I haven't yet decided if I'm going to do more with Raven's Prophecy or move into a different deck. Probably I'll do Raven's Prophecy. And if I can, I'll do a follow-up video tomorrow night. But I hope you're getting a sense here of how I've been working with the Tarot Pulse, and how working with that Tarot Pulse can be something that is progressive. That one reading can help me move into another reading, can help me pick the deck I want to work with. Now, if you only own one deck, congratulations, because you're not crazy yet. you haven't been infected with this disease. You can do this kind of work working just with one deck, right? It doesn't have to involve moving from deck to deck, but just thinking about the work as being, how do I help this energy continue to evolve and to change? So allowing one Tarot Pulse reading to help you kind of settle into the next Tarot Pulse reading. Okay, that's all I've got for now. I hope that made sense. I hope it was interesting, and I'm eager for your thoughts below. Thank you, as always, for your practice.